Hi, now this is a problem that some of you may have at home. We've ended up with a large gap along the top of your skirting boards like this. Now normally you get a hairline gap along the top of your skirting board. You would normally grab a caulking gun with some decorator's caulk in it and just whiz it along the top of the crack and the job's a good one. But obviously you can't use this product for this because what will happen is all the caulk will just sink down in behind the skirting board and it's not going to look very good at all. So if you're lucky, as will happen here is, look, it's got quite a bit of flex on this, so I should be able to put some screws in and get this to go tighter against the wall, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. But I've often come across it where it just won't budge at all. So you end up having to fill it as is like that. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, I've already mixed up some powder-based filler here on my board, and you can see it's quite a thick consistency, this. If you haven't mixed up polyfiller before, I do have a video that you can look at which shows you how to mix up this type of filler. Now the problem is if I try to put this filler directly into that wide gap here, it's all just going to sink down behind and have the big dip. So I do need to bulk it out with something to give the filler something to adhere to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this kitchen towel here to bulk out down behind here. I find it's the best sort of stuff to use because it's quite flexible and soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over once, then twice, and again, and then once more. So you end up with that little shape. Now I'm going to use my scraper just to tuck it down in behind there, like that. So it's because it's just behind, below the surface there. We'll do one more. Like that, like that, like that, and like that. Okay. So I'll get it to go up against the one I've just put in there. Like that. There we go, if the camera can see that. So it's about 5 mil or so beneath the surface of the skirting board there. So I'm going to put some more along here, and then I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've put some of the paper in this section here between there and there. So that's all ready for the filler now. So I'll cut off some of the filler onto my filler knife like that. Just press it down against the skirting board and work your way along. Just pushing it down in. That. There we go. That's the first stage. I'm going to get my scraper and just bring it along at an angle like that. Now across the top of the wall. And across the top of the skirting board there. And then one last go to finish off. There we go. That should do it. There we go, so that's that section all filled in now. I'll need to leave that probably 4 or 5 hours, it's quite warm in this room, to dry. Then I'll be able to just sand that down and get it smooth, and hopefully you have a nice angle on there without a horrible dip in it. So that's how we fill it if you can't move it in. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that filler back out and I'm going to show you how I can screw it against the wall if you like to do that at home on yours. Okay, so I'm going to be fixing the skirting board against the wall now using some screws. As you can see, it is very flexible there, so it does need to be fixed firmly against the wall. The wall, by the way, is a solid masonry wall. So to fix it to the wall, I'm going to be using my combi drill, a 6mm wood bit, a 6mm masonry bit, a countersink bit, and some of these red wall plugs, and some 50mm screws. So that's what I'm using to fix it to the wall. So first thing I'm going to do is put my wood drill bit in the drill. And I'm going to be drilling in through the wood but not into the wall. Okay. Oh, while I think about it, to be on the safe side, I wouldn't ever put a screw in anywhere below a power socket, just in case there is a cable coming up to it. So always go well each side of that to be on the safe side. Okay, so I'm going to drill a hole here. So that's gone through the wood. And I'm going to take this bit out and put the masonry one in now. And I'm going to change my drill so it's on the hammer action now to go into the masonry. That's that done. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this countersink bit to make a groove for the screw head to go in, so when you fill over it, it's invisible. So I'm going to put that in there and set it back to the normal drilling and not the hammer action. There we go, so it leaves a groove there for the screw head to go in, so we can fill over the top of that. Okay, so now I'm going to grab one of my red wall plugs. I'm going to pop it in the hole I've just drilled, like that, give it a little tap. Now I'm going to get my screw, I'm going to put it in the plug and give it a little tap. There you are, so it's gone through the wood and into the masonry. Now I'm going to take out the countersink bit and put in my normal screwdriver bit in the drill and set the drill on a lower speed onto number 1 now instead of number 2. I'm going to slowly there we go. That's gone nice and tight against the wall, so I'm happy with that. So I'll probably do about another 4 along the length of the skirting board to get it nice and tight against the wall. Then what you can do, hopefully, at the end is, sorry, misplaced my cork, is then use your decorator's cork just to whiz along to get a nice edge along the top. Unless you have any wider gaps where you can use the poly filler like I showed you just now. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you have, why not subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with all my latest videos.